CS is very complicated for me.
Oh, but yeah, no, it takes like a year of doing it, and then like you don't fuck it up anymore.
It's a tough one.
The first time we tried doing this, it took me 2 hours to get it working right. Because it's like window cap. I don't know. All these things are exactly the same. All right, let me look.
Yeah, you'll get it.
I think we are rolling, boys. Well, welcome to the first. Oops, there's my voice. First, possibly only Genius Symposium. I am joined, of course, by Felix Biederman and Big Dave. How are you guys doing? What are we sipping on, first of all?
One second, I'm turning off the Twitch here so I can you can see the chat. There we go. I'm drinking some Perrier with a little bit of vodka.
Okay. Felix, what do you got?
Okay, so what I got here is normal LaCroix, no flavor,
Plain water.
and a lot of people think LaCroix is some like foo lame shit from New York City, but it's actually not. It's from the Midwest, and the plain kind. So you know you're a true fan of how they do the bubbles, how they do the water, and that's what it's all about. And it raises your T, stops your hairline from receding. Ever since I started drinking regular LaCroix, I'm not losing my hair anymore.
Look at this.
It's
like an arrowhead.
Holy shit, that's an alpha hairline.
I go through about 5, 6, 7 of these guys a day.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. As you can see, Dave's combination of regular sparkling water and vodka, not great for the old toupee.
Well, you can also be a bald alpha, and that's what I want like the men in chat to understand. There are a lot of bald alphas out there.
Yeah.
And they can be good or bad. I consider Dave like a good bald alpha, someone who uses his alpha nature to secure dignity and honor for all men. And then there's like a bad bald alpha, and that would be someone like Jeff Bezos, who uses it to abuse people, to eat iguana, a noble creature, and generally be a fucker.
Yeah.
So if you're a manlet, you can either be like Jose Altuve, World Series winner, champion manlet, even though he might have cheated a little. That's okay.
Cheating's okay.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's 100 down the line, especially in sports. There's absolutely nothing wrong with cheating.
Or you could be Dave Portnoy, Barstool Sports co-founder, general loser. Somehow, he was successful with Barstool Sports, but in most other areas of his life, he's a big loser, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a lot of... I mean, the reason we've been gathered here today, Dave, is because you have famously several rules for not being a loser.
Online, definitely.
Yeah.
Online life's a little bit different from your real life because the number one rule of online life is to never apologize. But, in real life, I apologize. I say sorry to my wife or my kids if I mess up. But online, you never have to apologize. You know why? Because nobody's dealing in good faith online that wants your apology.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yes.
I think, you guys have probably both been in that situation. As soon as you apologize, you've validated their whatever their grievances, and so then they can beat you over the head with it for the rest of their lives or their online lives. And nothing good comes from validating any of these psychos with nothing better to do.
Well, I think people want you to apologize because that's like a hook that they can grip into, and then they can continue. It like reminds them to get mad about that forever in the future.
Yeah, they want a bookmark. They want a bookmark on something they can always pull up on you, even if you make fun of them in a funny way.
Yeah.
The important things of online. This is what I made a mistake with. In 2017, I got freaked out by how many people, like how big our show got, and I tried to keep everyone happy, basically. Like all our listeners, all the people, and it's like it can come from a good place, and people really come to you and you're like, hey, I feel bad about this. Like you do, it's a normal human impulse to want to make it right.
Yeah.
But I eventually learned you can't make everyone happy, and for a lot of things, for an online thing especially, whether you've got a show or a bunch of followers or fucking whatever. if it's big enough, people want it to replace a bunch of shit in their life. And it's not their fault usually that they don't have it. They want to have a community. They want to have, like, I don't know, like an elder figure. They want some type of guidance. But you have to be clear. You're not, unless you're TrueAnon or Big Dave, you're not that elder. You're just like, yeah, I'm here to have fun, pal.
You know what? Like the thing like that really like got that for me was like, you know, like I listen to Howard Stern all the time, and they become like your family because you listen to them for 4 hours a day every day. So people probably think the same about Chapo. Like, you know, they listen to Chapo like 2 hours a week every week. So you become almost like, you know, they feel like they know you. But Howard Stern doesn't owe me nothing. Like he doesn't, like, he's like a crazy Jew from Long Island. Of course he supports Israel and hates like Palestinians. That's what he grew up like understanding. Like,
Any guy with that hair is like that.
I'm never listening to Howard Stern again. He supports Israel. Ugh.
It's Howard Stern. Well, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
I think the thing with not apologizing is that, like, it's, I mean, for people like me and Felix who are sort of genetically predisposed to be apologetic, is to break that sort of. Yeah, well, I'm not so familiar with the Punjabi sort of method of dealing with their mothers. But it's, you have to break that racial mold, right? Like, I can't just be cotton hold, be some. I'm sorry. I've always said, if you can't please anybody or everybody, don't please anybody. And once you go the opposite direction, it's a little dangerous. You can get yourself into some trouble, but it can also be quite liberating.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like all things, there's a balance. What does Ecclesiastes talk about? Balance. You can't. It's bad to go in the other direction where all you care about is like freaking people out.
Yes,
exactly. You don't want to be an edgelord.
Yeah, all the funniest people I know, they like push boundaries and like sometimes will do shit that I won't necessarily do. I don't have a moral judgment on it. It's just like a different thing that I do. But their goal is never like, oh, this is to freak people out. This is to get people mad. They're literally just doing what they think is funny and they don't think about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the goal can never be to make everybody mad. Because then you start getting into, I mean, we'll deal again with this in a second, but you start getting into to Michael Tracy territory or to any of these other guys' territory where you just become what you hate.
It consumes you.
Classically not what you want to become.
You just have to be like that, what do they call it? Like contrarian 100% of the time. Yeah. But the thing is, like, anytime you see like Bernie apologize for that Joe Rogan stuff, or what's her name, the Muslim from Minnesota,
Ilan
apologize for All About the Benjamins. They don't care. They just use that to beat her over the head with every time. Like, don't apologize to these people because they don't care. Like, they're not in it to really. They're not sincerely asking for an apology. They're just jerks.
Well, I will say with the Ilhan Omar thing, as I was saying, like we apologize a lot, but we also, more than any other people across the world, we've demanded probably more apologies per minute than your Japanese, your Koreans, any of the other Asian races. None of them demand it so much. Well, the Chinese have, but only really in reference to their territory, which I understand.
Yeah, it's their business.
It's their business, exactly. I've always been like, Taiwan, that's up to you guys. I don't know. I don't really get what's going on there.
That's my approach to the world. Have fun, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Be yourself.
Mm-hmm. We are a very apology-centric people. And like Big Dave said, real life is different than online. In my life, you know what phrase? I was talking about this today with Keith, who is a Polish. Keith Buckley. And
talk about owing someone an apology.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, It would be my genetic impulse to not play Warzone with him and be like, Keith, you people owe me an apology. But it's like online and then real life is all about coming together, not being afraid of each other, not living in fear, not being like these people who are like, look at my inbox, it's all people calling me a Jew. It's like, no, we just want to vibe together.
Absolutely.
We shouldn't be afraid of each other.
I wouldn't.
He said he was talking about how he hates the phrase "love never means means never saying sorry, I think it is. It's the opposite. Love is all about saying you're sorry, even when you are, even when you aren't. That's personal life. But like
being a family alpha, learning how to apologize to your kids, like I don't think did your parents ever apologize to you?
me,
No.
yeah.
No,
My
not
dad,
to me.
my dad still believes that I burned down a hill when I was 12 years old, even though, which I got arrested for, all this bullshit. Even though someone else later confessed to the crime, and he's never apologized. And you know what? That's all right. That's all right. He sent me away to a cult, all this crazy shit. But you know, it's. I understand. I understand not apologizing to me.
Yeah.
But learning that now, like as a family alpha, and like if you mess up and you lose your temper or something, it's really humbling. But it's good though. Like it really teaches you like why you're apologizing, and it's sincere, and they understand it. Online is a whole different business, man.
Absolutely.
It's just.
And you can't mix the two.
Pardon?
You can't mix the two.
No. You can't show any weakness online.
That
After
is
you do it, you're
like-
sunk.
The next one is like, who cares? Because daily basis, we see the same people getting attacked and doing shitty tweets over and over again. Like Mike Tracy, that Mira lady, Climber, if you want a comedian, maybe Stephen Molyneux. But they're never going to change. Why do people keep replying to these people all the time? That I really don't get it. They're never going to change their worldview. You're just hurling insults into the wind. It's just a waste of time. Like you just got to have this who care mentality. Like online is for the bands now. Like you're having a good time. You're enjoying yourself. Why get all riled up because some rich lady who cut welfare for the Clintons in the 90s doesn't want to support Bernie Sanders? Of course she doesn't want to support Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders would put her out of business. Michael Tracy is barely above 3-digit IQ, I bet. Why are you guys putting all this, so much, every time he tweets, all the same people are just like, oh.
Well, the thing is, so I agree with that, and I'll take it one step further. I think that Climber and Neera Tanden are two of the best trolls in the business.
Yes.
They're fully, their online presence, is, God, talk about, the whole, I'm saying one thing and pissing 5,000 people off.
Exactly.
They are experts in it. Climber was doing a bit where she was saying she was a socialist. Fantastic. And everyone just flipped out.
She invented that bit. She
It's
invented
such
the
a good bit.
of people who work for Raytheon-funded PR institutes being like, yeah, I'm actually to the left of Bernie. That's a hilarious bit.
That's my favorite thing. If you the other day, somebody posted it in Slack, that McAlowee guy, Sean McAlowee, he said, I'm to the left of Bernie. Or
Okay.
every blue check writer at one time who's a Democrat has said, I'm to the left of Bernie. But it doesn't mean anything. So why do you and they're never going to change. Matthew Iglesias, the only way you could change him is with a bullet in the brain.
Right.
Agreed.
No. I said this. I told people this. Stop screenshotting. Stop quote tweeting Iglesias. He flies all over when it looked like Bernie was winning, he did his same bad style of post where he's yeah, it would be good if maybe people didn't have to pay insurance premiums, But it's he wasn't adding anything now, and he's not adding anything to whatever the fuck he's doing now. All he wants is engagement. The engagement farmer is the lowest creature.
Oh,
and people don't typically think of it as a well-salaried DC journalist. They think of it as someone who posts yo, Twitter fam, what movie did you lose your virginity to? So they can get a trillion quote tweets. But no, engagement farmers are everywhere.
People, they would go away because without any engagement, they're useless. Some of the guys that they got kicked off Twitter, that redhead guy or whatever, Got Him News.
I don't know.
Charles, I think. Remember, right-wing guy?
Oh, what was his name?
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about. Johnson. Yeah.
Nobody knows these people anymore.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
mute them and you move on. Like nobody, like I think everybody has muted like everybody from like Mother Jones. So I never see Kevin Drum in my timeline anymore. Like they just want people to get mad at their stupid takes that make no sense, and we're just engaging in it. And you got to. Who cares? Like just do your own thing. Like these people are sick in the head.
Well, I think the problem is that there's an urge to go looking for something to get real mad at, which I admit I fall prey to that myself.
Oh,
some of these people, you know, it's.
Once I got these rules, I fall prey to that too. I gotta just.
I mean, that's the whole point of the rules, is so that we have some guidance with this kind of stuff. Because, I admit, I look at people's timelines that I probably should not be looking. I argued with Michael Tracy just last week, and guess what? He turns out to be a fucking dumbass who can't, you know, string two fucking sentences together to save his goddamn life. Matt Stoller, another guy, useless. I mean, he should be in another world. He'd be digging ditches. He's not. Ignore him.
No, yeah, they get, and the thing is, they get so much out of your enmity, and that doesn't always come from a place no one is like born like, I want people to yell at me. Yeah. It comes from different places. It can come from, you know, maybe you are like that. Maybe it's a very rare case, but some people are, you know, they're bad seeds and they like people to yell at them. Mm-hmm. But it can come from rejection. You know, you're like, I can't make it in through the way of people liking me. Yeah. So I'm gonna get a reaction because, you know, the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. They want some type of human connection. Exactly. But you can so easily deny that from them. And I like making fun of bad posts as much as anyone. It's one of the bands. It's one of the reasons the fellas hang out. But if you've noticed that you've been screenshotting this guy's post for a year and he's still there and he's in fact growing in followers, oh, what does that tell you?
Well, here's another thing though, because, you know, you talk about the lowly, almost rat-like content farmer. Well, another form of content farming, it's a cyclical sort of thing, is screenshotting. And then you'll see the guys who, you know, they got nothing of their own. And their entire basis of popularity or anything that comes out, it really comes out of them showing people things to get mad at.
Yeah, they become journalists just screenshotting people.
There's one thing lower than a content farmer.
Screenshotting somebody with the drill quote or with a Felix quote or with a, you know, Cushman quote. You know, they built their whole careers on the double screenshot.
Yeah. I mean, my God, the amount of mileage people have gotten out of the Randy saying Democrats, whatever, more racist, is that it should be illegal to even have that saved on your phone anymore.
Yeah, so true. It's just the worst. But
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, I was just saying, like, some of the guys that really like piss me off, and I know that they're like they're like the type of people that get off on people getting mad at them. They love posting stuff. Every time I end up having to have a new account, if I get, you know, banned, they're number one on my block list because I know they're posting just to piss me off or somebody like me off, and they get off on me replying and getting mad at them. So I just block them, and it's just out of sight, out of mind. People share those tweets in the DM. It shows up as a link. I never click on them because what's the point? I blocked them for a reason.
Absolutely. And I think Twitter being like this and the internet generally being like this, I put it on one thing. I mean, these were problems always on the internet. These were problems on forums. I would have forum posters that I got obsessed with. Yes. And I was posting them all the time. But that was when you could run people off the internet by posting a picture of their house. And then Obama made that illegal. And, you know, that's that. We're in the world we're in now. But the worst thing that happened to the internet was numbers. It was putting numbers at the bottom of every post so you could know exactly how good you did. Yeah. That was a disaster because it turned people into algorithms, and it's why everyone posts the fucking screenshots. They know that, like, the quote tweet of this guy gets X numbers, No one experiments anymore. There are some great new posters out there. I do want to make clear there are some amazing posters.
Oh, fantastic up and comers.
Terrific guys like Thomas. There are some true masters, but they did that because they did not think about the number. They thought about what was good.
Thomas is exactly. Thomas is doing what everybody should be doing. Posting pictures of themselves shirtless, videos. I mean, bringing something new. A lot of guys out there, I mean, it could be any time, any year in the past 10 decades for them. They haven't moved on, and that's a problem.
Well, that goes to my next point, which is no beef, because, you know, before online beefs used to just end up in huge threads on Twitter, but now everybody's doing it, from right-wing guys, center guys, to left guys. You're going to get doxxed, and you're going to lose your job if you start a beef with somebody. It's just the way it goes on the internet now. Like, it's lost that sort of lighthearted thing where you can make fun of somebody. Like, if you, like, so many guys from like this boys chat I'm in made fun of girls, and they got doxxed. Like this 15-year-old kid, Ben Not Fish on Twitter, he got doxxed by some weird Antifa account because he made fun of a woman. Like, so that's the thing. No beef. Like, I'm online to have a good time with my buddies. I troll my friends. Like, every time Felix brings up Gen X, I'm gonna get mad at him. But it's not like a real thing. And that's how you get your aggressions out. You don't troll normal people anymore because you have no idea what's going to come back and how it's going to affect you.
Well,
yeah.
Felix, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah. I was just gonna just shortly build up that and say, yeah, no. Ever since it became a morality issue, whether you make fun of someone online or not, that's when it stopped being fun. That's when people started going after people's employment and just going crazy with it. When it somehow dictated what type of person you were, how you had fun, generally.
Yeah. A simple throwaway comment could put you on these guys' radars for the next 2 years, where they, like those Boca boys I used to make fun of back in the day, they still are the ones that report my account to try to get me, kicked off of Twitter. Like, it was just jokes, like a few years ago, making fun of the Boston bombing, which is, it's kind of funny if you're not from Boston. Like, most people don't really like Boston, so, but little did I know it would be following me around for the next, however many years it's been since then.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, I mean, Felix, some of this almost doesn't apply to you as much anymore because you have the blue check. It's...
Well, yeah. The reason I got the blue check was to never get banned again.
I remember that.
I feel like with every Lobby, with every up-and-coming irony poster, as a blue check, I must earn their trust to show that I'm not that type of blue check.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying, the classic
I know the
posters
struggles of the TrueAnon account.
What's up?
I know the struggles of the TrueAnon account.
The TrueAnon, I have to walk. It's so difficult. I have to walk the line because I've been there before where, you make fun of one guy's appearance one too many times. And he gets all his buddies in the Lobby chat to get mad at you. And then block. Which is, now that I'm a podcaster, there are many extra. I mean, people are gunning for my life practically over here. But it's difficult. And it's basically like, you can't really make fun of anybody. Which, I mean, no beef isn't something that I want. Like, I want beef. I tried, and I say in my moments of weakness, I've tried to start beef recently. But, I mean, the people I tried to start beef with Michael Tracy. It went nowhere because it's like trying to start beef with the wind. There's nothing there. I mean, the wind's like the air. Like, there's nothing. I can't grab onto anything. It's like calling a wall stupid.
They're so dumb that you can't win an argument because they just don't get it. Like, you've wrapped it up. You said why they're stupid and why they're wrong, but they just keep plowing on with non sequiturs or something like that. So it makes you look bad because you just keep going and going, but they're too dumb.
Exactly.
To
it's like there's no Scotty Burberrys out there anymore. There's no guy that you can get to take off his shirt to prove a point.
All the fun's gone. And the thing is, everyone realized, because everyone's all in this single collapsed space, which never used to be how it was online. Mm-hmm. Everyone realizes the things that you do that signal that you're losing, that you're being trolled, that everyone's laughing at you. Scotty Burberry did all of that. He got naked. He said he was on the phone with the FBI. When people made fun of his coat, he said he was taking a walk with his uncle and a stranger gave him a bottle of champagne because of how nice his coat was.
Yes.
He just did all of it, and it was...
He had lunch with the guy from Gucci, the Gucci America.
At one point, he just gave up and pretended to be a stock photo.
Yeah, he pretended he was a black woman in a stock photo. He's the greatest, but it's like, well, I mean, people are stupid, but they're not totally inhelpably, farm animal dumb. They see even the lids that you think aren't hip and can't pick things up. They saw Scotty Burberry do that and were like, okay, I can't do that.
I can't.
And what's worse? Everyone speaks the same language now. Everyone speaks a sort of genericized, soified irony speak now.
Yeah.
Even people whose beliefs are so insane, people who just want us to occupy every fucking country forever, that we should arrest anyone who isn't pro-Israel. They're like, that's a normal reply.
Yeah.
No one's themselves anymore. It's really tragic.
I know it's exactly that. The language has become very codified, and so it's like you got to just basically start speaking in tongues now to really make any sense. Because it's like there's almost no difference between any of these, so-called big irony accounts and, well, not even the irony accounts, but these left-wing accounts and their liberal counterparts. They're basically they talk exactly the same. They both complain about the hell site. They both say normal tweet. They both speak in this sort of half self-effacing kind of thing. It's basically it's a dialectic. They've moved on. They've taken the wine be normal shirt mixed with whatever sub irony bullshit, and they've made a new thing, and the new thing sucks even worse than either of those. There's no honor.
The only true posters left are the sort of white lib women, single moms or ladies that use the gifts that this gift or some black person gift. Those are the true, they've still stayed true for the past 10 years. They've been posting the same. And it's so, I'm so happy to see that they have to support Joe Biden. It's it just, honestly, okay, Bernie lost or whatever, but these people having to eat their shit and support Joe Biden and, the mental gymnastics they have to do it is so funny. And it just, I just don't understand how it's possible that they have to they can justify it, but they do it. It's pretty awesome.
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I think the thing that a lot of people don't understand is they talk about whatever. It's I'm the Joker now or whatever. The Joker would absolutely. I'll tell you what. I am so glad that Joe Biden, as opposed to any of the other people running, is now the nominee. Because it's it's bad, but it's funny, right? It's not it's funny, Kamala or something where it would just be bad. And I think exactly. So I have that little. He would probably be he wouldn't be funny. I have that positivity.
That would suck.
Yeah, it would be awful. Well, we'll see it soon enough. I have that positivity. You can never lose that. That's the childlike delight at having to see Sadie Doyle in 2 months or whatever from now. I mean, I can't see it, but have someone, someone who's not following the rules post a screen cap of Sadie Doyle doing "Get Out the Vote" for fucking Joe Biden. It's funny. Yeah. It's at least if I have to eat my shit, it's good that other people are at least having a little bit of a nugget.
Absolutely, and using the primary, it was very tough to go through. It was very tough to go through Nevada, being all these places, and then seeing it end, but. Following Big Dave's rules helped me so much because after Super Tuesday, I was like, no, go ahead, dude. Fucking do Biden then. If that's your guy, if that's how you're going to do this, do it. Fucking do it. Do it. Twist yourself into a fucking pretzel telling me that Joe Biden is a black woman. Do it.
Yes,
I fucking dare you. And it's I think the bad way to go about this is going all over the place, doing side by sides with the third side by side where it's drill going, I'm not owned.
Yeah.
Where it's you point out their hypocrisy. No one actually gives a shit about hypocrisy.
No.
Because everyone's a hypocrite. That's part of the evil of the world is that everyone is either forced or incentivized to be a hypocrite. But the
That's so
fun thing to do is to laugh at how much they are truly hating this. Yeah, I hate this too. This fucking sucks. And I'm someone who is incredibly lucky and like would not be not as affected by Bernie not winning as a lot of people. But it's wonderful to see them saddled with this dementia-ridden albatross. It was almost a little Carmine moment. But no, it's I wanted to say something that we said during the primary, but I don't want to get you guys banned from Twitch. I don't know if it's TOS.
Can you
something about how
describe it?
they. Huh?
Can you describe what you would have said?
If we're not gonna win, we want them to self-parody themselves.
Yes.
While they win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, you got it's like the kamikazes, right? You know, they're gonna go down with it, whether. I don't know. Did those guys really believe in Emperor Hirohito at the end there? But they still did it.
Yeah. Wouldn't be my choice. But I do. I mean, I will say, like, I genuinely enjoy people who would have had me arrested for not saying folks 6 months ago, telling me to vote for Joe Biden now. Which, of course, I will never. Why would I vote for a Democrat? Ridiculous. But like it's I like it. Like I'm being honest. The thing is that this is the thing that like people don't understand. All of the people that like you hate, you have to learn to love them. Like I love Arthur Chu. I love Arthur Chu. Yes. I have since the moment I laid eyes on his just dripping fucking wet, bulbous, onion-like face. I love him. I love all of these people.
Absolutely. No, yeah.
It sort of goes into like, you know, a bit of like, you gotta, I don't know. You guys are quite a bit younger than me. I've been through a little bit more of like the politics cycle. I've almost sort of, you know, given up on it because maybe in our parents' time they could have changed something by voting, but there's too much money in it now for anything to really change substantially. If you're in Canada, the Liberals and the Conservatives are pretty much the same. If you look at what like happened in England with them kicking out Corbyn, the main party now, they have pretty much the same general sort of, you know, like one party's a little bit less racist, the other is a bit more racist. The first thing Justin did after his second term of a minority government was do a tax cut. You know, and called liberals. You know,
alpha like move, by the way, alpha move.
Right, there's just too much money in it for the average person. Like, I know, like that's like Felix's bread and butter. Like, Chapo is about getting people engaged and stuff. But it's disheartening that you think like there's nothing really like there's too much money in it. There's way too much money in it that you can't change anything. Like whoever wins is sort of like beholden to the businesses.
Well, that's why. Felix, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, that's why. I mean, for me, like the show is about giving people something that they enjoy, and oftentimes that means looking at the world and digesting it for them in a way that makes them laugh or gives them a better appraisal of what's going on. I don't mean that as being informative, but I just mean the perspective they can gain.
Yeah.
But oftentimes, I think it's important for us to do culture stuff. Not important, but I think that it's there's a lot of utility in it. I think that after the primary, I was thinking about my job as a podcaster, and I was like, I think it's time to hit culture because, like, obviously we're still going to cover politics, but what I want to do at the end of the day, give my listeners stuff that they enjoy. That means looking at culture a lot. But I don't know. This is neither here nor there. But I was thinking about like, what is the actual best outcome conceivably? And it's like kind of a Macron situation where it's like you have this weak executive, and then there's a incredibly strong protest movement, and there's massive resistance to it. Problem with that being like, this is America, not France.
We have a strong executive.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, and also like, could we conjure anything like the yellow vest? They could if they turned off sports forever. It's the only thing Americans really care about. But
yeah.
I mean,
I'm fiending.
Yeah. But like, I think the problem is like, well, Felix, with you guys, is that people like, I think when you guys started doing that, there was like nobody else. I mean, it was like that was, it was like nobody else who was talking like that or whatever, and people, think like that. And they're like, oh, these guys think like me. But I think that like where you run into trouble is that people start to look to you as like their political leader,
right?
Which like puts you in like a weird position because like that's not. You can't be that for them.
I don't know anything. Like Amber and Matt have read a ton, but it's like, yeah, that's something that happened after like our BD Post Birdie episode. Like people fucking hated the episode so much. Like
which episode?
Listeners, our post mortem on Birdie that we did last week. They fucking hated it, and I don't think that they fully got that. It's like, no, we're not charting out a course. Like we don't really fucking know anything either. We're doing what we do, which is a media product. But I thought it was, I don't know. I feel like most people don't think that way, but the most vocal are always going to think that way.
Well,
they're vocal because it's, and the weirdest thing about that too is like, I don't think we've ever done or said anything that would make people think that we even desire to be a fucking political leader. Like that's the anarchist shit they always say about us.
Yeah.
Like me, it's like, oh, a political leader who, it's like, slow down, buddy. I'm just like another fucking media guy who like now has too much fat in his lower back. Like,
I noticed.
You guys are just there to, to inform and update like a little bit different because like there's nobody out there really quite like that. But the thing is like one thing that I definitely believe is there's no chance for a change unless there's a violent uprising, right? Votes aren't going to change anything until you pick up your gun and you go down to like the ice or,
Dave,
something like that.
Terms of service. Be very vague about what you're saying.
Okay, yeah. And you protest outside with it and you're holding it.
Martin Luther King style.
Change anything now because the corruption is too entrenched in our society. Like we always talk about like how corrupt China and India and stuff are, but we're like just as corrupt. Like my little town where I grew up, my house has like it's on a septic tank, and we've been trying to like subdivide the plots. So we want to get a sewer line to run through our street. And basically the real estate guy that was going to put it all together, he's like, you got to buy one of the counselors a new car for their kid or something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
I grew up in Chicago. Same fucking deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm trying to get rich, though. That's why I've been because I feel like if I had a bunch of money, I would just spend it on good shit. I would 100% buy as many politicians as possible, but I would do things for it would be like a Tammany Hall type scenario. But the thing is, Tammany Hall, the problem with that was leadership.
Brace, I think you and I have like similar ideas of what it would be like if we were millionaires, and the design is mob guy.
100%.
Like I fantasize about it so much. I felt like in like 2018, I don't know. I had like a shitty year, and I was like, I know what I have to do. I have to sell a show. It's like I went to LA to like pitch, and it was one of the worst weeks of my life.
Did you like meet with people?
Oh yeah, I did. I met with HBO and fucking Netflix. It was one of the worst. Some like Persian guy almost hit me with his SUV when I was crossing the street leaving Adult Swim, and I like fucking spit on his car. because he ran a red light. And we were just screaming at each other, like, in front of the people I just did a shitty pitch to. It's comically bad. But I think about it all the time. I think that, like, the good shit I would buy, I would have an Olympic platform. That's one. I would have 3 guns. I would have 3 dogs that are all friends with each other. Because I get them for it would be a Portuguese water dog, a Vizsla, and a Borzoi, and they'd all be buddies.
Borzoi, classic rich guy dog.
Yeah. And I always, the first time I watched Sopranos as a child, not really understanding it, but nonetheless loving it, I thought it was so cool how Tony walked around and it's like, if he did anything that required any service at all, he'd just give the guy like $500.
Yeah, and the guy was so juiced.
I want to do that. Yeah. I tip really well now because I feel bad about like kind of how easy my job is.
Yeah.
But like I don't make what Tony Soprano did. Not close.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably spend the first while learning the stuff that I need to do. Like, I don't know how to drive. I'd probably have to figure that out pretty quick.
I'm a really shitty driver. We can take classes together.
Yeah. And I would want to move somewhere.
You guys.
What's up?
Come up to Vancouver. I'll teach you both of you guys how to drive.
It would be my honor. It would be my Dave. I want to move back to the Midwest. I need to like get like shitty at it.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be in Milwaukee last week, but this COVID stuff put a damper on my plans.
Dude, Felix, if you moved to the Midwest and you were Tony Soprano rich, you would literally be like the new Leslie Wexner. You would be the richest guy in the Midwest.
Well, I don't want to do like all of his activities.
Yeah,
but
women's clothing.
Well, yeah, exactly, rough business. But no, I think like I'm like very, very lucky, but it's like all I've basically earned in New York is like you basically live like you have to be so lucky to just live like a middle class lifestyle or like even like shittier than a middle class lifestyle, like way most places. Not that a middle class lifestyle is shitty, but like you know what I mean. If I moved to fucking Elgin, Illinois, I would be the king of the town. And I don't want power over people. I just like I want people to be like, yeah, we're going over to Felix's. He has an ATV. He's gonna let us shoot fucking cans.
Dude, you gotta move to where's that place with where the cap factory used to be in Illinois, where University of Illinois is?
Yes, yeah. Wait, do you mean Carbondale or
no.
Champaign?
Champaign.
That's a great name for a place for a rich guy to live.
It really is.
You buy a house, a gigantic house, like one of the ex-mansions of like the Caterpillar exec, because like my buddy Larry lives there, and like looking at property prices, you can buy a mansion because nobody wants to live there anymore for $500,000.
Yeah,
you can't get nothing here for $500,000. Like a townhouse, like a 900 square foot townhouse here is about $500,000.
You could buy literally a studio apartment in San Francisco for maybe that much. It would not be a great one.
I like one time recently, me and Andrew from E1, we were playing a game and he was talking about like what it would be like if everyone moved to Chicago, and I made him stop because it made me too sad because it's not going to happen. But like, oh man, New York, like just all these cities suck so much. Yeah. If we I want to move. It would be hard to do this without it looking like we're starting a cult. Yeah. But I want to move all of us like an hour or so outside of Chicago because
Waco Part 2, baby.
They might do it just because we're having too much fun. The ATF might come, but it's like, man, like I don't know. I think I'm close to convincing the boys to leave New York. I think I'm like this close because it's like, yeah, look how expensive it is to live here. Look how like shitty everything is, and also like if there's a pandemic, like literally the biggest amount of people in the world fucking die.
Well, the thing is, in New York, even people I know who are making money live in like a shitty apartment. Like I don't. Yeah. It's like here, like no one. Everyone here lives in like a part. Like I don't know anybody I think that lives in a house. A single person. Yeah. And it's like if you can podcast from anywhere. And it's like all cities look exactly the same. They all look like dog shit. They all have an Everlane. Exactly. Huge windows, all this shit. But The problem is it might be like an Israel type situation if we move to like a smaller place.
I have unlike Israel, I have a bloodline claim on the Midwest. My family skipped New York.
I think
came here from Ukraine. They went right to the Midwest.
How do you feel about Utah? That's like the alpha whites on Utah.
Yes, I would love that. I would fucking, because I don't drink. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm fine. I can like vape stuff. I can order that. Like, oh man, I would love.
You've already got the cult stuff down to a T. Like you could sit in there, you wouldn't stick out nothing. It'd be perfect.
Felix, if you died, if you'd have to change, you'd have to get some like elective surgery, but you could, if you started wearing like shorts, you could be like a Utah guy. Like pretty much, actually, that's the only thing. You might need to dye or cut your hair, maybe both, and wear some shorts, and you could easily be a Utah guy.
I think I could. I have like the Utah body type, kind of.
Yeah, you do. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All you need is a Patagonia vest. That's about it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
2 wives.
I would have to get some type of like. I have the Jewish curse of like too much fat on my neck, no matter how in shape I get.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just lipo, easy lipo. Like I get rid of that, and then like, I mean, all Mormons look the same. They all have like brilliant strawberry blonde hair and then black eyebrows. So I could just do that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like you could also, even if someone gave you shit, you could be like, yeah, dude, why do you think you send the missionaries out? It worked. Like, I'm from Kiev.
Will and Matt would fit in well too. Amber is the only one that I don't know about Utah. I don't think she's gonna blend in well.
She might not vibe with it.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember Amber's exact racial. I have it written down somewhere, but she could also just be like, oh, you think she might not? I could see her not liking it.
That's why I think I have to sell them. Here are the 3 places, now that you mentioned Utah. Utah's number 1, obviously. But I think Chicago, because there's enough New York bullshit there. Or Duluth, Minnesota.
Okay.
Which I think may be actually the hardest sell.
I've never been to Duluth.
Duluth is the most beautiful place in America. St. Louis County is the nicest county in America. Beautiful.
You can buy Trap House in St. Louis for about $3,000.
That's I don't hate St. Louis.
Well, I got a couple of friends when I was younger who were like riding the rails in Mexico, and they were going back to upstate New York through St. Louis on a train, and they had no money, and they stopped off at this pizza place there, and they won $500 by eating this pizza in 2 hours. And it's like, what other place in the world is that possible in?
Yes.
That's the one thing I don't get about America is how every place has its own pizza, and it's like, it's all a bunch of bullshit, most of it. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of annoying. Like, that's the one thing I don't like about following American Twitter is like, oh, I love Wawa, I love Sheetz, I love Culver's. Oh, this is way better than the In-N-Out is the best. Oh, I love this kind of pizza. Deep dish is the best. No, New Haven pizza is the best. Who gives a fuck? It's all fucking the same fast food, guys. Come on. Like, don't let your identity just be fast food, please.
Dave, you know what that actually is? When people, when like you see like a journalist or someone be like, yeah, if you like ketchup on a hot dog, you're a horrible person.
Yes,
That's like sublimated sexual desire because they want a girl to write, wow, unfollowed, so they can go back and forth, and then like he can get like a quarter chub on his business flight. get to the fucking Wyndham and just fucking bust all over his own stomach.
Well, Clymer, and I regret to say that I know this, but Clymer is the expert at this. If you search Charlotte Clymer's profile for pineapple and pizza, that was I'll tell you this. If you are getting horny DMs from somebody, do yourself a favor and search pineapple, pizza, hot dog, sandwich, any of these terms. And if any of them come up, even if they're referencing it in any way, automatic block. In fact, report them. Report them. Say that. Tell them that you want them to make a violent threat towards you as a joke, so you can screenshot it, and it would be cute to put in your timeline. And then in the DMs, report that threat.
Well, that goes to my next point: never being horny on Maine.
No, yes.
Felix has had some experience with this lately, with some backlash, but it's never a good thing. Like I do it sometimes as a joke. Like I want to see your toes. Like I'll make that joke.
Yeah.
Everybody likes that kind of banter.
Yeah.
I don't care. I've never like what are toes? Like I want to see guys' toes. I want to see girls' toes. Let's get it.
This is classic. This is classic Indian humor.
Yeah. No, it's Indian magic.
But and then you have to be careful because every DM you send is going to be shared a million times. So you've got to be careful, guys out there. Don't get horny on Twitter. There's a 99% chance that stuff's going to get leaked. It's going to come back to you and you're going to be embarrassed. All those Twitter couples, most of them never work. We got Alana and Branson, we got CJ and Kara, but other than that, most of them end in tears and like some sort of weird standoff where like you get half the followers, I get half the followers or something like that, you know. But most of the time, it's just bad news, and like you know, just meet people in real life around you because the one, you know, the rules to tell your son. The number one rule I'm going to tell him: don't date a Twitter girl, date an Instagram girl. Because Instagram girls are normies. Twitter girls, a lot of them, they've been through it, right? So we want our boys dating normies.
I used to do a lot of, not a lot, but like, I would like entertain the idea of flirting more on Twitter when I was younger because it's like, I don't know, and like I had some. Like, there were people I hooked up with from there, and it was fun, and I still talk to them. See, like, oh, you're in law school. Good for you. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm
like,
still doing the podcast.
But there are guys who consume their lives trying, like, all they do is try to fuck Twitter girls, and it consumes their life. And they're, like, you know, we're saying, like, watch out for girls on Twitter. Yeah, if you're a woman, watch out for that guy.
Yeah.
If this guy has fucked, like, 5 girls on Twitter, he's a psycho.
Yeah.
There's a reason he can't fuck girls other places.
He is.
I mean, for me, I have a dispensation. I'm socially maladroit, and so I have to wait till someone like messages me on Instagram. But I'm not voracious or like after it like that. After all, I follow the Branson rule, which is an addendum to the Dave rule. If you think you're gonna post something like that's not just to your friends, that is like way too emotional or like stupid or horny, just jack off. It's totally free.
Yes.
Exactly.
Wow, that is a really good. That is a fantastic advice.
Oh, we got the Branson addendum. That's beautiful. Just jack off. Like, don't. I don't know. Do girls really want to see guys' cocks anyways? Like, it's not the most visually pleasing area. Like,
I was wondering about this late last night. Are gigolos real?
At a very low rate, but yes.
Like, there can't be more than like 100 of them.
No, yeah, and I think they're mostly just like European guys with ponytails, and they just fuck like sort of like corny older women who are nice, but like haven't been with anyone in a while. That's okay.
Yeah,
I think it's mainly with older people, right?
Yeah,
older women probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. You're not blurry anymore.
Yeah. Dave, I think a girl only wants to. That's what I've thought about it a lot. Girls only want to see your cock when they really, really like you. And it's like if you're doing like, you know, if you're doing this, I hope you're not doing this, where you're like, if you don't like Chicago style pizza, you should literally be banned. But if you're going back and forth like that and you think there's a spark, yeah, don't send your fucking dick.
Yeah.
If she really, really likes you, she'll ask for it. And you know,
even
that means you won't be caught. Like, don't get caught off guard. You know, by like just take it like being so horny. You send some like shitty top down picture of your cock, and this girl's like, "What the fuck is this?" Hey, no, yeah, just don't think that you ever need to send that first. Only if it's out.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Weird. So many girls have sent that in the shared DMs, like some random dude with like this awful like veiny cock, and it's like he just sent it out of the blue after I chatted with him a couple times. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, the thing is, ladies, also watch out for this. Is there are people who, and there's some guys who want you to not like their penis. They want to send you they want you to see their penis and they want you to hate it. Essentially, I mean, maybe we all know what we're talking about here, but it's that's dangerous. Basically, never in real life or online, never look at a penis. No one. The thing is, if you can just send them just Google great looking dick and send it.
Yeah.
Muscles or something. That's more, But at the same time, I don't know. Don't look at it as a dating site unless you have a really good relationship with this person going on for ages and ages. Don't. It's not a dating site. It's just people out there spitting out their feelings and jokes and stuff like that. Just enjoy it. It's all about the bands. Just have a good time. Sometimes I'll be let's. I love retweeting gay porn. Because it's funny.
Yeah.
The male body is inherently funny. That's why Jackass was so successful, was because the male body is funny. The naked male body is funny.
It's funny.
The female naked body is not funny. It's erotic. It's totally different. So keep that in your mind. Male body funny, female body not funny.
Exactly. Because the thing is, there's no way, dicks look fucked up. I got, a pretty normal, well, it's fucked up, but, not in the way you'd expect. But I would never, I go every year, I go to Folsom Street Fair, which is a large bondage festival on Folsom Street. Yeah.
I've seen the tips.
Exactly. And, it's ostensibly just for bondage, but it's mostly gay dudes there. I know there's the leather scene, there's a lot of people. I used to go to punk shows at leather clubs, blah, blah, blah. I know a lot of these guys. And every time I go, it's a blast because it's so funny. Because it's just you see people flopping around. At one point I went there, I have the video, I think, somewhere on a computer, but I still have a picture on my phone. At one point, there was a guy fully nude standing, I think he was wearing shoes, and he had completely shaved crotch area, and a penis that just looked like a finger, you couldn't even tell it had a dickhead on it. And he was just helicoptering around, hands on his hips, going whole body motion, and I was entranced. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And that's the thing is dicks are funny. They're funny. They're an object of humor. You have to, in order to make your penis picture erotic, you have to transcend the inherent humor in your penis. And that's very difficult to do, my friend.
You gotta get the right lighting, all sorts of stuff. I'm so lucky I'm old, right? My dating time, we couldn't send penis pics because we didn't have digital cameras. So I'm lucky. Honestly, I have no idea how people can date now with all social media and cameras being everywhere. Every move is being tracked now. It's scary, but you got to do what you got to do. But back in my day, dating, did not include sending people pictures of your penis unless you went and you got it developed at the drugstore.
Yours was
envelope, and you mail it off to her. Hopefully, her dad doesn't open the envelope.
I was about to say yours was arranged, right? So presumably, your parents took a picture of your penis and then traded it to another family for them to approve or disapprove.
No, we weren't arranged, but it was just sort of her dad's very old school. So when he found out that we were dating, he's like, you guys gotta get married or nothing. So it was good, but I just can't imagine the obstacles to dating right now is it's a scary world. I'm so glad I'm happily married. I tell my always I'm praise the whoever up there, Vishnu, Allah, Jesus, whoever it is, that I'm in love with my wife. I don't have to go out there hit up Tinder or something like that, because it's a rough scene, man.
I do use your profile picture on Tinder, but I only do. You know what's funny is my friend found a lady podcaster like phishing account on Tinder that like tried to like get his info from him, which is great move.
That is a pretty good move.
Yeah, it's like you thought you were about to become third Mike, but instead, all your Bitcoin's gone.
This may reveal me as a sociopath, but like, I have Tinder, but I just like, I don't really intend to like really. I've only like ever met 2 people from it. I just use it because it's like theoretically, because like presumably like none of these women know who I am.
Yeah.
Like it's a very small world that I'm a part of, where like people know who I am.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, if someone didn't know who, like a woman this hot who didn't know who I was, would they like presumably like entertain the idea of hooking up with me?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really what I do with it, because it's like sometimes you're in a video game loading screen, sometimes you're just sitting around the office, and it's like, I can fucking take a look at this. There are guys though who like all they do is go on Tinder dates.
Oh yeah.
That is its own form of being a psycho.
I've got friends like that who like just like every night they're just like on dates, and I'll tell you, the only time I ever used it was when I was in I just got out of rehab and I was living in a halfway house. I decided I would move to the suburbs of San Francisco to live in a halfway house because A, they were cheaper, and B, I didn't know how to drive, and so it was harder physically for me to get heroin, which I figured my way around that within a few days. But when I got there, it had just come out. And so it was like 5 guys in basketball shorts on the couch. There was like 12 guys that lived there, all just going like, "Yeah, bitch," like making like it was like horny but like flat voice noises, just like
yeah,
oh yeah, like and I got on it and I was like, all right, well, I'll just be completely honest with people. And I was like, I am a heroin addict who has been sober for 40 days. I live in a halfway house. I can't drive, so I need you to pick me up, and I have to be home by 9:30, or else I will literally be a homeless person. And they'll come pick you up.
That's wild.
Yeah,
people appreciate honesty.
Yeah,
people do. People really do, and it's like people always say this. This is always like. People always say this about like guys, where it's like, oh, he'll just fuck anything, or like he really had to get that one out of his system. But women have sexuality too, and sometimes it's like they just want to fuck a guy who's straight out of rehab, and that's okay as long that's okay. You can do that.
I mean, it's like that's cool that that was like I had a thing at least. A lot of people don't have a thing.
Yeah, that's true. You had a hook.
I had a hook. I was like, they hear halfway house and they're like, oh wow, that's like he has a house, That's they like that. But I never got any more
meditation. Like, so even at my age, like most of so many guys my age are like straying, want the kids to get to a certain age and everything like that. Once you learn how to center yourself and you don't like what you have is enough, and you figure that out. That's so important. I can't stress that enough. Being content is like the most important thing, and like meditation has really helped me with that. Other things too, but like just being content has saved my life, because like it's so easy. Like there's so much chance, especially I'm a sales guy. I'm out all the time. Easy to stray, but like meditation just. I've got my mind on the straight and narrow of just going ahead. I just, I've got the family, and that's all I care about. But it's tough for a lot of guys my age. They're, like after they have the kids and the kids are getting older and stuff like that, they get bored. And like, that's the real killer, boredom. Like you got to fight boredom all the time and stuff like that. But if you learn that contentment part of things, like I'll say that as a 42-year-old guy, once you learn how to be content, your life gets so much better. You really can thrive. You can do things that you never thought you could do, and everything like that. Like, I'm so happy. Like I'm so far ahead of where I should be. But contentment's hard to find, and but if you can do it, it's really worth it.
Damn. Respect.
Boredom? No, yeah. My dad, like before he died, he had a very embarrassing affair, and was like had this whole thing where he thought he wanted to leave my mom, but like really didn't. But it was just like, and he had sort of like the boomer thing where it's just like anything you do is a major. I shouldn't say this is a boomer thing. Everyone does this. Millennials do it. Whoever. Where it's like, it can't just be that you like got horny and you're like bored or whatever. It's like he's like, this is a pivotal moment in my life. And then he jumped into it, and then it just like, oh fuck, I really didn't want this, because he bought a condo at the height of the real estate crisis, and was like literally like lost all of his money. And was like $1 million in debt, and was like, he had this humiliating apartment in Wicker Park that, like, if people don't know, Chicago is like, it's a very young neighborhood, and he was about 60.
Yeah, that's like moving to like like Williamsburg or whatever, right?
Yeah. His shit was filled with the most embarrassing, like, clearly just something that like a 60-year-old would do to impress a 30-year-old, where it was like photos of like Cuba and like African guys and like tribal art, and it's like, you don't care about any of it, like, you're not into any of this. And it was just like, no, you didn't have to do all this, like, you could have like jacked off or something, and now you have this thing where you're $1 million in debt, you're about to die of cancer.
Well, the problem is a lot of people
like, damn.
A lot of people feel that like empty void in them, and they assume that the one thing that can fix that is like the one thing they can't get, which is like a young woman or a young man or whatever.
So true.
When actually, most of those guys need to do two things: jack off and get a hobby. Like, without a doubt, like if those people, got into guns, for instance, especially a hobby that costs a lot of money, so that you think about it all the time. And here, listen, if the thing you need to do is lie to your wife, just lie to her about how much money you're spending on increasingly like obscure caliber bullets.
No, yeah. If my dad had like gotten into guns or like building ships in a bottle, like the end of his life would have been much less stressful for him. But it's like, I used to be really mad at him for it when I was like younger, but now it's like, I get it. I get it. Like if you don't watch out, you can really fuck your life up. And I don't mean fuck your life up like, necessarily like die or fucking go to prison or whatever, but you can fuck it up in that you lose sight of everything, and the only thing you have is desire and pursuit.
Yes.
You can pursue and desire so much and think that you're happy and think it's contentedness, when really you're just filling everything with white noise. But then time passes, you're either out of pursuit or you no longer have any ability, and you're like, fuck, I don't have anything. I'm just here with myself, and I have nothing.
Because that's
the struggle.
Like, it doesn't matter what you fill your life with. If you have a hobby, you're still going to mess up, because if you don't understand your sort of base instincts and where your desires and everything lead, like it can it leads you down all these paths. But if you can center yourself and every day you wake up, I know it sounds cheesy, but you sort of understand how blessed you are in a certain way. Yeah. Like, things I want to change, I want to excel here or there, I want to fix this, I want to get better. But at the same time, you're happy and you're thankful and you're like, oh yeah, I'm so happy with what I have right now. It's so important, because like, if you don't have that, you're like, how many times have you heard about a married guy DMing girls, like teen girls on
I heard that
Twitter?
yesterday.
So fucking often.
All the time. But it's like, why? Even if like you're not in the same town, you're filling that sort of hole with
that's what it is.
Things. All it's going to end up with is heartache. Like, it's just stupidity.
That's what it is. I think it's like, it's people have like a void or like a need for something, and then but like the only emotion they can like understand that they also have is horniness, and so they combine that when it's like, my brother, you are not. I mean, you are horny, clearly very horny. You know, it's quite obvious. I have seen. They have posted your pictures in the chat room. I have seen them. You are extremely aroused, but like it is. It's something else. Like it's a more like it's not something you can find like through someone with the cherry emoji or somebody who will DM you back. To be frankly honest with you, they know that you're 45. Well, maybe they don't. Maybe you have an avatar that's maybe slightly different than what you really look like. Maybe it's a drawing or something. I don't know. But it's
definitely a drawing.
Definitely, yeah. Class, by the way, ladies, let me give you some advice. If he's DMing you and he's got a drawing, no.
Yeah,
Ask for a video of his face with the camera going like this, because
oh yeah. Cartoon heavy is such a fucking red flag on a person.
In every way.
Yeah, every way. People like draw us like me all the time, and I like it and I appreciate it. But it's like, you go down a dark road when you're a cartoon Abby guy. It means a lot of things. It means that you like, you know what I think it means? Maybe I'm reading too much into this. Maybe I'm like getting into their mind too much. But I think that it betrays the fact that this person thinks they are the main character in a show about their life.
Yeah.
That's what it betrays to me.
Yeah. People have drawn me too. People have drawn me much better looking than I am. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, it's I can't use it, and it's like I have a little suspicion. Now, this does not go for anybody who doesn't have a picture of their face or anything. I don't use a picture of my face. It's a specific sort of thing where it's supposed to be you. It's not you, but like it looked, like it is a drawing of you or something like that. Especially if they had it commissioned. If they had a commission, people commission drawings for a reason. It's like portraits. Like Napoleon had portraits of Josephina commissioned that made Josephina look like a fucking dime. Josephina was not hot. Dude, I'm getting into the Bonaparte family. Felix, you would love the Bonaparte family.
I love them. No, I love them. I was really into Napoleon as a boy, but I think that might be the next thing I read. I'm trying to crack into a book about the Armenian retribution for the genocide that Matt got me a while ago. I got to read that.
Called?
I've got to read. Huh?
I'll look that up after.
It's somewhere on my.
It's a great book, Napoleon the Great. It came out about 3 or 4 years ago. It's so good.
I might get that. I might get that on my phone. I need to. I've been trying to. I've actually been getting like more done than I have since fucking 2016.
Yeah.
I'm like doing way more shit, but I need to start like. I do need to finish NASCAR. I do need to like crack book 2, but yeah.
Oh fuck no, man! You don't got to go down that whole road.
I am. I'm already down it. Well, here's like okay.
You got to do the NASCAR podcast.
Well, me and Andrew would be doing it if it wasn't for Corona, probably. Like, he's very busy, but
yes.
I love Nausgard. I love Nausgard because he's like, I think that it's a Gentile doing Ecclesiastes. That's really like that's okay. I love it and love Nausgard because everything that's written now, like every book or like personal essay, everything. Like, it's all predicated on the idea that everything is terribly significant, that every, superhero movie or fucking, date you went on is just, this actually speaks a lot to what's happening in politics. This actually speaks a lot to some historical struggle. And Nausgard rocks because it's everything that happens in his life, both very important and not so important. And it's a joke. He's basically saying, this means nothing.
Yeah, it's all flat.
It means nothing. Yeah. And I don't know. I think his writing's funny, and I think that he has a very. I think the hardest thing to do, it's like painting. I think the literary equivalent of painting hands, the thing that no one can do really, is capturing what memories are like, because it's almost impossible to put into words.
Yeah.
But he's so good at it. I mean, like, I honestly, when I read it, I have the same thought I have with every autobiographical thing, which is like, if it's this full, like, a lot of this shit has to be like made up or abridged or whatever. But I don't care, because just like the way that he gets memories, it feels so true to how it actually is.
Yeah, I have book 1. My aunt actually got it for me, and she's like a smart lady. So I opened it and I was like, I can't do this, man. But it's like, I'll give it a shot. I've been reading a lot in quarantine, but I have to now. It's bullshit because of TrueAnon. I mean, I read like books that would be applicable in the podcast before I started doing the podcast, but now I feel like it's weird. Because I don't have a schedule, and I'm not. I've always worked jobs with like very set schedules, and now that I don't have one, that I have to like make my own. Like I got to do this. It's like I never know when to stop or start working.
Yes.
And it really fucks me up. What's up?
Poisoner in Chief. Did you read that one?
I haven't, but I've only read. The thing is, like, I started it and then I was like, "Fuck, I got to do this episode about Nazis in South America," and I started reading a Nazis in South America book, and it's like,
that sounds great.
Poisoner in Chief was sick, man. Like, I don't read a lot of like non-fic, but that was like probably one of the greatest things I've read, man. It blows your mind, like what our government's been up to. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, it's. But like, for me, the quarantine has really, I've been gambling a lot on esports, like this weekend.
Yeah, you're a big gambler.
Yeah, I told you, how did that bet on Stewie 2K pay off?
Good, man. Stewie is a good guy.
He's fucking insane.
Wait, what do you mean?
Stewie 2K is a Counter-Strike player that I suggested Dave gamble on.
You won the gamble.
Instead of NASCAR, what they do is they get the guys, all the NASCAR drivers, like Kurt Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr., they get like their screens set up, like the perfect like gamer setup in their house, and they do a full NASCAR race, and you can gamble on who wins. Isn't that wild? Like, the gamers are rising up, man. Like,
this is our world.
Do you game, Dave?
What's up?
Dave, do you game?
I try, like, I do a lot of like single player RPGs, but like I tried like that counter Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah.
And every time like I just get killed like within like a few seconds. I'm too old.
No, boys. You should play with me. I'll send you like my name on Activision. Like, I'm trying so hard to get Brace to play Warzone.
I will. I just downloaded it. It appears to work, which is good.
That's good. We play with like Keith Buckley's like around your age, Dave, and it's like he's picking it up. Like, it's fucking fun. Like, me and Tom are like decent at it, and it's like it doesn't really matter if you win Warzone. Like, the way to drive yourself crazy is to play a battle royale game and really think you need to win. Yeah. I just think of it like how I used to think of Battlefield games. It's like, all right, I'm going to try to execute some general strategy, but I'm just going to do ridiculous shit. I'm going to put C4 on an ATV and drive it into a guy.
Yeah. I think that's the only, like, because it's like, I feel like I didn't play enough multiplayer games growing up to really get good at it. And so it's like, I feel like I would drag you down, but I would like to, because I like me and Paul used to play Mordhau sometimes.
We need to play. I was telling the CS:GO boys today that we need to start playing Mordhau again. I miss Mordhau.
It's so fun.
Mordhau rocks.
Because you like can't be good at it.
I met one guy in one server through matchmaking who was good, and it's like, okay, that's probably the most racist single man of all time.
Yeah.
Because you're like a Crusades guy if you're like good at that game. I got good at the bow, but I think the bow is like bullshit. It's too strong.
It's because it's just like shooting a gun, except it's slow and it's hard to aim.
I would just one tap everybody with the bow if they didn't have head armor, and it was like
my last point is bro care, which just build up your bros, man. Like, play games with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Especially this time of quarantine, we got a lot of sad, bored people. It's all about your bros, your sisters, and stuff like that. Whatever you can do to lift people up that you care about, because online isn't real, but the friends you make are. That's my tagline.
100% fucking true. That's
I should
right.
totally trademark that. Online isn't real, but the friends are. So you got to build them up. And honestly, like it's so cool. Like I wish I could play online games, but I don't know. I'm a console guy. I just like sitting back, relaxing. Like even today, like I'm at the office. I'm sitting on my chair. I don't like it. You love it though. You're used to it.
Oh, you're talking about just the act of sitting in a chair, Dave? Like you don't like chairs, is what I'm hearing here?
No, when I'm home and I want to game and I want to relax, I just want to sit on the couch. I don't want to sit on a chair.
You should see this. I got the most uncomfortable chair of all time. It is.
What the fuck, Brace? Brace, I'm gonna send you the chair I got. It changed my life because a week into quarantine, I knew I was gonna be at my desk a lot, and I have been. And I invested in a chair. And honestly, I'm gonna write it off. You could definitely write this off.
The problem is the space between
the
couch, or excuse me, the desk and the bed is maybe this wide, and so it's a little. It's a
All right.
It helps me because that means I don't sit. I get up and I cruise around and stuff. But
that's good.
I've sat in so many uncomfortable things in my life that I don't even know. This is like heaven to me. I will say the lack of a back is difficult sometimes. But
that's
you just
bad
lean
for you.
forward.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know.
League of Legends ones, right? League of Legends chair of some sort?
Yeah, so I accidentally bought a League of Legends chair. I got a Secret Labs Titan.
Can I see it?
Yeah, you can. All right.
Give me some. Yeah, all right. So it's LCS.
Wonderful. I love it.
So I've never played League of Legends. It's absolutely not my type of game. But a week into quarantine, I knew I had to get a nicer chair because the one I was getting was like tearing my back up. I have like a bad back from a lot of shit, and this isn't one of those like $1,000 office chairs. So those are ridiculous, but like it's been so good for me. It's been so good. I've gotten so much done because of this chair. It's why I'm doing like so much more podcasting. You're right. It's wonderful. It's changed my life. I have nothing bad to say about League of Legends players. I'm not one. I wish I could have gotten a CSGO chair, even though I'm terrible at it. I still love the game.
It just says the logo of the game. It's not like, because like, the thing is, gaming, like, the ancillary technology to gaming, like the mouse pads and I guess the mouse isn't ancillary. It's like the front line, but like the sort of accessories, the gaming accessories. It's like, I'll tell you what, it's a hobbyist sport now. You can get all sorts of shit and go for it. The chairs is really something like last year I started noticing people sitting in those chairs. Is it like specifically for like, what does it do?
Okay, so I am really bad at anatomy. I wish Aaron was here to help me. He knows a lot more. He's a wonderful personal trainer. Do you know that Aaron Bertovo added like 115 pounds to my squat in like a day, just unfucking up my form? Like, he's a genius. But I feel like the back is more like kind of graduated in a way, and I have a really bad sciatic nerve issue. I fucked up my back like grappling and doing Olympic lifts earlier in my life, like trying to learn them from YouTube. And if I sit in a bad chair too long that's like rough on my tailbone, like my leg will fall asleep, I'll get severe back pain. And I think like the seat, its part itself is better made. I feel like I have like better back support and shit. It's good action.
Felix, I feel like you need to become the millennial Nassim Taleb. Like all the guys that are obsessed with Lindy and Black Swan, it's awful. Like that subculture.
I like Scholus. Scholus unfollowed all the Bernie people except for me. Scholus likes me.
But I just mean like you gotta rebrand now somehow and become like the millennial Taleb. You gotta write the Black Swan of our era.
Yeah, Felix, you should write a book.
I had an idea for earlier in quarantine. I had an idea for a book, and I had the unfortunate realization that I don't know how to write fiction. Really, it was. It was.
Well, tell the idea.
My idea, I was gonna write, and I wrote like I have 3,000 words of this, but like the problem is I don't know if it sucks or not. Like I have no meter for this. I have like an internal meter for like every other type of writing I've done, but not this because I fucked up in school. Is what I'm saying. I should have majored in English because it didn't matter what I majored in. I got a degree in something stupid, but it's a novel from the perspective of Joe Biden, and I like half of it is Joe Biden, his eidetic memory of the past and his life, but he's still an unreliable narrator because he's a liar, and then the present. This is where I got caught up. I didn't know whether to make the present third person where it's just you see this old man being led around, or whether to make it's this man with dementia narrating. And I decided on the former because it's like I don't actually know what someone with dementia, how their internal monologue would be. And I think like it would get old and like too hard to follow after a while. But the parts that I wrote
workshop that. I'm old. I can give you some insight.
That would be helpful. The parts where it was him remembering his like first person in the past, I thought were really decently well done. But I have to read some stuff on how to make a plot. Like I don't know how to do it. Well, I don't fucking know.
They've kind of got it downside. What you should try to do is just write it to a short story, and then see if people like that, and then you're not a fucking. Can't use any of the words I want to use here.
That's a good idea. I'm going to try to write like 30 or 40 pages of just it's a Biden story from the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might. That's a fucking good idea. I'm going to do that. I have something I'm working on with Jack right now, Wagner, that I have to do. I've been slacking off on, but I could probably do that next week. This idea.
Why not? I'm still trying to write my Holocaust book, but it's going slow. Because I feel like any book about the Holocaust has to be like 8,000 pages.
Oh, yeah. You can't
Well,
Knight's pretty short, but he was there, so he is best.
Exactly. I got to make all this shit up. Well,
yeah. What is your Holocaust idea?
I got like really obsessed with the stories of these people who lived like in real life, lived in the caves underneath Odessa in Ukraine. It's like they have like a giant catacombs there. It's like I think 2,500 kilometers. It's huge. I've been there. I went there to like research it or just walk through it. But it's basically about these people who existed that got sent down there and just went totally psycho. So it's not really a Holocaust book. It's like a cave book because they like didn't. There was like guys who didn't go up for like 3 years. And just like slowly went like they lost all their shit. Sometimes the people would just drop poison gas on them, and they went like crazy and ended up basically killing each other. 2 guys. Well, at the end, and this is in real life. At the end, there's basically 2 guys left. One says in his journal that he shot the other in the head, and then he goes to the surface and lives with his wife. And waits for the war to end.
Holy shit.
Afterwards, he goes back down there and picks up a grenade, and it goes off and it kills him. So they think everybody's dead. Years later, they find out that the guy he says he shot, they think he was just suffering from like hunger, like hunger madness, or like really thirsty or something, because he didn't actually shoot the guy. The guy was found to be living in Paris in the 70s. There's like no explanation for it.
Holy shit.
So I was like, damn it. I was like, I could just steal these guys' life story and write a book about it. Not like a nonfiction book. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, no. Nonfiction is like so much fucking work.
Oh my God.
To be a great nonfiction author, to be like Ron.
What?
What's that?
You need to channel Hobson.
This is true. It's true.
He spits about life, everything. He should be your hero, Felix.
He is kind of my hero.
He does.
No, yeah. I remember the first time someone played Hobson for me. It was when I lived in Minnesota when I was going to school, and I really had to just like. It was someone that I had only known for like a little while, so I couldn't be like, "This sucks, dude." I'm friends with him now. I'm like very close friends with him now. It's been many years, so I'm like, this shit sucks.
When
dude.
someone plays you music and like you don't know them that well, and like first of all, don't play music for somebody else. That's another little rule out there. Don't.
Only your friends.
Yeah. Like don't be like within the first like 6 months of meeting someone, don't ask them if they like what you're playing. Just play it.
Because they're always gonna say yes because they don't want to hurt your feelings. Yeah, no. I only play music for people that I've known for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's like then they can tell me if it sucks or not.
Exactly. You have to reach a point in your relationship with them where they can tell you if it's good or if it sucks dick.
Yeah. That's the most talk about bro care. The most important juncture you can get to in a friendship is if someone feels comfortable giving you a negative opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say
true.
100%.
Of course, you hit me like Punjabi music on everybody. I don't care though.
Do you like Punjabi music, Dave?
Yeah, the new stuff's really good, man. Like it's like all these young kids. Like there's a couple of guys from Canada that like become pretty much like gangster rappers. One guy's called Sidhu Moosewala. Like it's good shit, man. I'm so happy, like finally something from like my culture, like sort of like growing up, we were always into like the West Coast gangster rap, and like these kids are sort of channeling that now. It's pretty cool. I like
That's
it.
sick.
Me and Felix only have Madas Yahoo.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Well, like Judas used to do all the coolest music, but that's what the coolest music was like songs called like "She's My Soda Pop Gal," like in the 30s, and that was when that was like rap. When Irving Berlin or whatever was like rap. Not that I don't know if he's Jewish or not, but then we kind of fell off.
Yeah, it's like we went from
executives.
Yeah, we did klezmer for quite a while, klezmer music. And then, which really people, that's very ethnic music. People did not really like that. What?
Adam Levine?
Adam Levine.
Is he Jewish?
Well, Levine.
I'm looking that up. The problem is, if I type Adam Levine Jewish, if Adam Levine, the singer, is Jewish, literally everyone else on earth named Adam Levine is Jewish.
100%. Well, Levine.
All right.
Levin, if he dropped the second he would be extremely Jewish. But Levine, it's difficult because sometimes you hear guys' names, you're like, oh, okay, he's Jewish, and then you meet him and you're like, oh, he's just German.
I have bad news, Brace. I know we both had like a lot of investment in him being one of us, but he does consider himself Jewish. But the matrilineal line is broken. It's unfortunate.
I'm sorry.
You know, I mean, it's fine. The greatest musicians, I think like the best band in American and therefore the world history they were Minnesota Protestants. It's like sometimes you gotta give Protestants something.
I was waiting for you to bring this up. Now, I have some different opinions on this with you.
Well, we have different tastes. We have very different tastes.
You are much more emotional.
Honestly,
The Replacements.
I love the Replacements, but when they came back together and they did this tour in like the 90s, and Paul Westerberg just was so checked out.
I like
that.
Yeah, he didn't give a shit.
But I like a drunk.
Then, like, because I was like so into it. I was like, oh, the Replacements, I'm gonna go see it. And then Westerberg was so checked out. Like, I never recovered from that.
Well, that's something people should know is never go see a reunion. Except unless they're an institution. Like if the Stones still play. I saw the Stones when I was younger. It was fantastic. It was amazing. It was the Stones. But never go see, like, I made so many mistakes. I've seen so many reunion bands. And I'll tell you what, I did see Dick Dale yell at his child once. His, like, 20-year-old kid was playing bass, and he just stopped the song and screamed at him on the Santa Monica Boardwalk. And I really enjoyed that. But, like, I shouldn't say, I like all Replacements. I just really like that first record. But you like. So what do you like? We have very different tastes. Like you're a punk guy. I never got punk. It was just not. I think like the age that I was supposed to get into punk, I was just like too into rap. Like that's me and Dave have probably closer tastes in music than me and you. Well, Dave's a big rap guy.
Felix, the main guy, I think the best songwriter of the '90s will come out is a Chicago guy, and I'll stand by it. I think he's better than anything that Pavement did, anything the Replacements did. Billy Corgan, you gotta respect him, man. He wrote some amazing songs.
He wrote some pretty
represents
good ones.
Chicago. You gotta respect that, man.
Billy Corgan did write some amazing songs, but there's no Billy Corgan song that stands up to Left of the Dial.
Left of the Dial is a good song.
Yeah, that's one of the best.
1979 to me is the greatest pop song of the 90s.
Which is?
1979?
That's a great song. It's a great song. It's a truly terrific, historically great song. That is true.
I will say, I had this business idea when I was like 19 that I would, because people would they reissued all these Screwdriver records back then, and people were getting all mad about it. And I had an idea I could sell dispensations, what's the shit with the Catholic Church? Indulgences, not dispensations. I would call them dispensations. I would sell indulgences from a Jew, that it was okay to listen to Screwdriver, and it'd be $1 a song. And it would last for 6 months before you had to re-up. I was thinking if I could get because they also didn't like Pakistanis. No disrespect, but that was a big thing for them. Which I think they mean Indians in that too, Dave. So you and I, because I think that a British person can't tell the difference between. I can tell the difference between a Pakistani and Indian, because Indians are always talking about how much they hate Pakistanis. You just have to ask them. But if I could team up with somebody of Indian, preferably Pakistani heritage, we could double the money on that, because we could sell double indulgences.
Well, I presume they weren't that nice to black people either, though.
Yeah, no, they weren't. I could get, and I'd have to round it out. I could get a black person.
Yeah,
you know what? Honestly, probably didn't like Chinese either.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, as long as everyone's, I don't know, there may need to be a revenue sharing thing. I mean, who did they hate the most? Who were most of their songs about?
Well, it was basically, they didn't really, I mean, they do say the N-word a couple times, but and just because they're British, I would have to assume Pakistanis. They do not like.
You're right.
It has to be.
Some new Punjabi rappers will say the N-word. Even though I believe Punjabis have been blessed with the skin tone to say it, but I don't think it's right. So, but I'll withhold my judgment on
that. Didn't Nav used to say the N-word?
Yeah, all the time.
I think he probably sometimes when there's stuff like that, it's sometimes people literally just don't know. You're in New York, there will be guys who work at a corner store, and they're just here from Yemen, but they love rap and stuff. They don't know.
They don't know.
Don't know. Someone has to tell them not to say that.
Every Arab dude I grew up with said the N-word, and I was just well, I'm not gonna tell you can't say it.
French Montana can say it. He's got the pass.
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
You have to bring something to the table, though, because they're not just going to let you, you have to be the liquor store guy. You have to be a rapper. You can't just, this is where a lot of people get it wrong. You can't just be bringing nothing to it's a trade.
You're right.
It's a
That's
trade.
Very true.
It's right. People think they just hand them out, but no, absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, that's why I've never wanted to, is because it's well, I'm not bringing anything here that you need, so
exactly.
I'm not even gonna think about if I could have it.
Exactly. I've never considered.
Also, I would get no use out of it. I would get zero. People always joke about getting end passes, but it's what would I do with that?
Under what circumstances?
Am I gonna call David Brooks that? What?
What am I gonna say? Liz is that? It doesn't it doesn't.
Yeah.
No,
it's exactly.
No,
if you have the sort
of. I gotta bounce. I gotta head home, so
let's call it, boys.
That was awesome.
That was so fun, boys.
Thank you for joining us for the Fellas Forum.
Yeah, thank you so much. This rocked.
My wisdom elevates you to a higher plane, and one of these days we got to get online and we'll discuss something else.
Correct.
Absolutely. We should do this again soon.
Yeah.
All right,
guys. Be sure to follow Dave and his podcast, Chapo Trap House.
Yes, this is Big Dave from Chapo.